Sometimes I want to run away to a small town working as the cool barista in the local coffee shop. Other times I want to rewind and set sail in my college career a little harder. I let a lot of opportunities slip through the cracks because of my anxiety, and I would enjoy reshaping how to get it back. My indecision takes over my brainwaves, and what once seemed so clear is a little foggy. The best way to describe it is when you go to the deli and order a bagel with butter when you actually wanted a bagel with cream cheese. The decision has been made, but you're left with the doubt of having made the wrong one. I never know where my wrongs meet my rights, but to linger on them would be a disservice to my time. Time that us as humans have so little of. Over the last few months, I've made it my purpose to do less. And in that lesser time, I've found it so odd that I have not gained any more of it. It's almost as if the paradox we cannot escape shifts its perception when you are willing to do so. Like, I'd appreciate a couple non-drowsy hours in the day to read, to write, to journal, to plan, and to devote my creativity to the energy that fuels me. I'd appreciate a little more simplistic hours to spend time with loved ones, friends who live far, and with those who wish to spend the same moments back with me. By stopping the ball on this so-called doing nothingness, I've come to realize that this thing called time stops too. Days turn into weeks, and weeks are met by months, and suddenly I'm lost at how it's spring in my outer, but my inner was left in the full. I think those two seasons rival it out of me each year though. But for some reason, this time it's different. I'm different. My taste for the world has become more palatable, and my disdain for the way we groove around goals has become more fierce. I want to live the life I've always imagined. I want to break boundaries and seek solace simultaneously. Do you see my problem? Do you ever feel like two people at once? Do you ever resonate with your past choices but never quite learn from them? It's weird being torn, but who's to say you've got to rip the paper in half? It's okay to be sad after making the right decision. Here are some journal prompts for decision making. I hope you can find some clarity through these. Trust that I will too. Why is this decision important to me right now? Am I prepared to handle either side of the decision? What is my gut feeling about the decision, and how much weight am I giving it? What's a small step toward a personal goal I can act on today? A professional one? How can I make tomorrow a day of positive impact? The journal prompt that I chose is, what's a small step toward a personal goal that I can work on today? I think to really nail this on the head, I'll have to make a list of personal goals. There's a lot, and I'm certain I will be missing a few, but write poetry for a living, explore different lifestyles opposed to what I am used to, feeling less anxiety around decision making, feeling uncomfortable enough to commit, letting the brave parts of my Sagittarian nature out to play, learning patience, creating a space for creativity, and reeling back the reins on the pressures of it. Now, to kind of tackle all of these bullet points, I'm just going to formulate a sort of numbered list in order to make these make sense in my own brain. So to write poetry for a living. Number 1, start off by taking your poetry off of the shelves. That is the first step in writing poetry, girlfriend. And you know what we're gonna do actually? I guess I'm gonna just read you the poem that I wrote the other night opposite of the page. This is a start. No? The title is called Original Spider-Man Rules. Just saw a post that was like, bring back early 2000s war movie lighting. It was so comforting to watch, and all I could think about is watching them with my cousins, a couch bed with more blankets than girls, some questionable snacks, and not a care in the world. Perhaps it's not about the way the cinema glowed, but the way we felt when we were whole. Yay. I could sob. Anyway, back to the journaling list. Number 2, this is off of the back of exploring different lifestyles opposed to what I am used to. Again, it would be just commit to things. And that leads me to another bullet point. This is in reply to feeling less anxiety around decision making. Number 3, let loose and let go of pre-existing thoughts. This next one is in response to feeling comfortable enough to commit. Number 4, you have commitment issues. Yeah, maybe one of the next videos we can work on that. Separate bullet point, which were letting the brave parts of my Sagittarian nature out to play. And my kind of response to this is doing more confidence spell work. Number 6, about learning patience. I think that you have to work on this. That's really all I had to say in my journaling exercise, because I just think that's a fact at this point. I am oh my god, I am so impatient. It's disturbed. There's a few things that in my characteristic traits that I love about myself, and I think it's so awesome that a lot of people just can't harbor it, but I am so not envious, but rather subtly curious about certain ones, which are 1, commitment, and 2, patience. Two of them just can't like live in my world, and not that they can't, of course that they can, and we could just learn it and grow with it. In my brain, I think that just requires spell work, so we will work on it together. And lastly, in response to creating a space for creativity and reeling back the reins on the pressures of it, my response to that in my own journal, to carve out time to create for the sake of the desire and allow yourself to feel fulfilled in that. Like, for instance, a job will not fulfill what your mind can. And I think that's kind of the most important part, is that you need to create, not because you're like on a clock of creation. I know, I guess this is a weird segue, but I love that I upload every single week, especially on YouTube. And I know I'm not like a ginormous creator yet, but sometimes I'm like, damn, I make a YouTube video every single week, and this is like so sick, and I love it because I just love doing it. And I used to upload twice a week up until like literally only last year. I stopped because I was like, wow, TikTok's like kind of blowing up a little bit. And I just felt like I could not distance myself from like TikTok. Really was like hard to do YouTube at the same time as much, only because TikTok also is just so many videos, and then it's just so much more like consumption of content, and it became like, holy shit, this is a lot. Whereas YouTube and Instagram back, even like during COVID, I feel like it was just so much more like, like I felt a relief. Like I felt like I could do all of my other jobs and random things that I do to earn a living, and I was like, whoa, holy shit, like this is cool, like I could still do this. But like with the addition of TikTok, I think it really does become like, whoa. And I know it sounds silly, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, all you have to do is upload videos, but I think it stifles that like that creativity that you're like creating to create, and you just kind of feel like a robot at some point, and you're like, whoa, relax. The last one is something that I really want to work on, considering just so many like new opportunities and like abundant fun things, and I just always want to make sure my creativity is at the forefront, and it's not just like, oh, I gotta shit out a video today. Like, that's not the point. At that rate, there's hundreds of other videos to watch and dive into. This is the best way to create space for your thoughts. It is called rest. All around rest. I know it may seem hard, and it is a little bit daunting, but I believe in you because I know you can carve out time with a little help from sensory rest, which includes silent walks, soothing scents, loose clothing, cozy socks, deep pleasure. Creative rest, which includes drawing, crafts, baking, reading fiction or fantasy, new recipes. Spiritual rest, which includes meditation, prayer, energy healing, full moon rituals. And lastly, but dare I say maybe the most important and easiest one, playful rest, which includes fun and unproductive activities. Rom-coms you've seen 100 times, board games, puzzles, building forts, and childlike, mindless actions. So we're gonna pick one and do it. I think lately I've been kind of torn between which bucket I kind of fall into. Let's sift back to yesterday, where I actually deep dive on what I feel like I need most right now. Even this is so hard to decide on. You always need all four corners of yourself and your soul and your body and all of your surroundings to feel like they're connected into like a perfect little square. I really think right now I need like spiritual rest. Well, I think I need a few of them. I love my spirituality and I love my witchcraft practices, but they do get very tiring if you try to do them too much. And if you don't segment them into just like daily rituals and you try to like always fully amp them and like rev their engines before you're ready to tackle on the practices, it gets really hard and the lines get blurred, and it's like, oh my god, like you really get like blinded by it. Spirituality is genuinely whatever you want to make out of it, but the root of it is of course being positive and being self-secure and self-sufficient and really being able to like connect with your inner workings and whatever lights your dark night's path. So today we're going to do like an energy healing exercise, and it's really easy and I think you'll love it. You could do it wherever you are, however you want. You could do it in the woods, you could do it on the train, you could do it while you commute in your car, you could do it at work in the bathroom. Like, you can do this wherever you need, and I think that's the beauty of witchcraft is, again, it really is what you make of it. Healing spell chant. Earth below, sky above, fill the dark of night with love. The morning sun will take my pain, and I will wake renewed again. I hope you feel better. way we move is never set in stone. We can push, pull, and procrastinate until the birds fly home. Alls I know is I am ready to be met with my words. Abundance grows where you can't see. Just clear your eyes, your mind, and believe. I wish you all luck in this healing journey. I really didn't know how many of us needed it, and I am so honored to be in this together. So certain we'll make it out even better. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and good luck on your witchcraft practices. Bye!